It's showtime. What's up, good people? And welcome to the Frank Harris Show, the biggest, the baddest, the best, and the most provocative show on earth. And look who's but back, my boy, Dominican E. Yo, E, what's up,
Frank?
E?
What's going on?
Boy, E, you looking sharp today, boy. E, what you got? E, what you going to church? E, you got a little date or something? E, man, E, you looking sharp? E, woo! E, look cleaner than the board of health. E.
I don't really step out, but when I do step out, I do got to represent. You know what I mean? I do got to,
Okay, I see you repping E. So, E, we got some great things happening in sports right now, right? We got Tyson, Tyson Paul, the fight, Jake Paul, Tyson. We got Bronny James skipping out on the road games for the G-League team. We got Steelers, Ravens, E. Oh, yes. Man, we got the state of college basketball and NBA basketball. But let's kick off here, E. Bronny James. I want to kick off with Bronny James. So now it's been noted that Bronny James will not play he will not play road games with the Los Angeles Lakers G-League team. Bronny James, no road games, will only play home games. E. And now at this point, Eric, please don't tell me anymore, all right, you or LeBron or anybody else, where it's fair, Bronny James deserves to be here, right? Like everybody thought, okay, he would play the first few games, play in Cleveland, and then he would go into G-League and try to become a basketball player, Eric, because he needs the reps and he needs to play. We know he didn't deserve to be there, but LeBron James, J.J. Redick, the organization tried to continue to fool everybody and tell everybody he deserved to be in the NBA, okay? Yeah. Now, instead of just sending them down to the G-League now, letting them get reps, Eric, and letting them learn how to play the game, right? He's too cool. I guess he didn't want to ride, and maybe this is not the answer, but he doesn't want to ride the commercial flights. I mean, why is he not playing on the road with the G-League team? LeBron James, I guess, is just dominating everything, right?
Yeah, this is a circus. This has become a circus, Frank. I mean, the guy doesn't want to go down. He don't want to go on road games. I mean, what's the message being sent to those other players that are actually, busting their ass to try to get a 10-day contract to try to come up? And here's this guy, LeBron James' son saying, "Oh, I'm not traveling on the road with the team." Like, come on, man, this is a shit show. I apologize to the fans for my language.
But what made it worse is that when they tried to shove it to everybody that it was legitimate. And I watched Bronny James play high school. I watched him play 10 high school games, watched him play in college, Eric, right? The guy, I told you from the very beginning, he wasn't a pro, right? I got all these LeBron bots that LeBron probably sends out here, whatever the case may be. And all these people saying, "Oh, you hating on the little kid. Oh, you hate. He's a pro. Yeah, he was dominating the Sierra. He didn't dominate the Sierra King. He didn't at all. He was never the best player on the team in high school, on his high school team, number one. He averaged 4 points a game in college, and the guy just wasn't good enough. Okay, then all these scout reports ranked him high, but he wasn't a top 50 caliber player in high school. We know that, right? Yeah. But now it's almost like it's a joke. And you know what's ironic about this? LeBron James and all of those people, right? They talk about wanting him to develop the right way. That's the message they sent out, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, well, I know I'm not mistaken. Right, he's going to put the work in. He's going to develop. He's going to grind. That's what he's made about. It's about the work. I got a question, E. Okay, so while you traveling on the road with the big team, not playing, and almost being like a mascot, E, because realistically, at the end of games, everybody's going to say, "We want Bronny. We want Bronny," so he can get 15 seconds to clock, E.
Yeah.
Literally, right? You almost become like that. Okay, number one. And number two, how you going to run a narrative that you want him to continue to develop and grow if he's not grinding? The grind, Eric, would have been, he got a taste of what it is. Now go down there in the G League and work on your game every day. You travel with the G League team, you grind, and you develop into an NBA player, which you're not right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's sad. It's sad that this is what has become. I mean, LeBron James, he's using his power to manipulate the organization to, whatever he says, they're at his beck and call. I mean, the kid should go down there, work, grind with those guys that are actually hungry to get to the NBA, get a 10-day contract, get a feel for what it is to grind. This kid has never grinded before his life. Everything's been handed to him. Go down there and grind with those guys that have the passion, the desire try to get a 10-day contract. See what it's like. You know what I'm saying? And then go down there and then humble yourself and then grind and work on your game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
What with him, with him, is no two-way contracts, right? Because he's a two-way player. So they can just bring you up and down, right? So it's no 10 days. But listen to this, E. The great Magic Johnson, who's, arguably the greatest Laker of all time, him and Kareem to me, said, if I was LeBron James and Bronny James, I would go to the G League for the season and just work on my game. Okay? But now it's becoming a show. But I've always said this, okay? Two things I've said. He doesn't deserve to be here. It's super nepotism. Nepotism exists in the real world. We get it. My issue was when the Lakers and LeBron James kept telling us that he legitimately belonged there. That was my issue always, right? If we would have acknowledged that LeBron James said, I've done so much for the NBA, this is what I want, and the NBA gave him that, right? I get it. But everybody kept, and then Eric, he had, I think, 3 points in his debut game, right? He had 3 points. And guess who showed up? Rob Pelinka, LeBron, AD, JJ Redick. Come on, bro. Really?
Yeah.
The man had 3 points, Eric, I think it was, right?
Yeah.
So E, all I'm saying is this, okay? Stop running with the narrative. Now, the last thing I'm going to say about it, Eric, and I've always been consistent about this. Now, he's worth his weight in gold as it relates to marketing. People are going to come. People are going to buy the jersey. He's worth money to the Lakers organization. But from him deserving to play and from a basketball perspective, he unequivocally does not deserve to be there, number one.
Yeah.
And he unequivocally needs to be in the G League working on his game. And right now, LeBron and them it used to be he was an NBA player. Then they made all NBA teams not take him, right? LeBron did.
Yeah.
Okay. Now he's dictating what's happening with the Lakers as well when he's on the team now. So first he said, nobody better take him, right? Then he said, when he's on the team now, I'll tell you when he's going to go play in the G League. Because they ran the line that he was going to spend a lot of time in the G League. He was going to play in the G League most of the season.
Yeah.
You felt that way, right?
Yeah.
And now this comes out. And so it's a joke. I get it. And by the way, LeBron James want to play with his son. Just say that, right? And we keep it moving. Fair enough, E?
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I want to ask you this. What message does that send to the other players of the G League organization that are playing for the Lakers? What message does that send to them? I mean, this is, like, these guys are actually, busting their behind trying to, like I said, get a 10-day contract and hopefully get seen by the GM. What did that message say to them? You know what I mean? This whole organization is messed up, man. The Lakers is...
So the best player on that team, I think his name is Olivieri, I believe. I don't know how to pronounce it. Olivieri, I believe it is. And I think he's from Xavier, right? He played well in the preseason. One game, he had a lot of points, hit threes, been playing well. I think he's been the dominant, one of their better players. And he came out the other day and talked about how he likes Bronny. He thinks these guys got to say that, Eric, because when you're part of the organization, you understand what it is. So it's unfair organizationally, but I guess you can argue that life ain't fair, right? And so people get opportunities in life that they don't deserve all the time. And so what does it mean for a guy that's grinding and all that kind of stuff? You understand when Bronny James comes down here, it's his show, right? And you understand what the scenario is. So you got to play around that. That's the bottom line, right? You understand it. It's sad, Eric, but that's the reality. That's real life.
You can look at it from a flip side too, right? LeBron goes down there, and now all the GMs and head coaches are going down there to watch the game, and you have a breakout game. They might say, listen, this kid right here deserving of a 10-day contract.
Why would a GM go? Oh, you mean the Lakers GM?
Yeah, the Lakers,
and
the
GM,
Lakers GM, which they did.
But they did get the reports in the tape anyway, right? It's not like you plan for anybody else. But anyway, it is what it is, right? Just don't tell me the nonsense that he deserves to be there. Just say LeBron James is running the Lakers. LeBron James is running the NBA. He got his son on the team. He's determined that he wants his son only to play at home when it's probably a 30-minute drive from his house to the practice facility and where the G League team plays, right? And then you don't want him flying on commercial flights, going around the country, right? Playing in smaller venues. He wants him on the big team, chartered jets, comfortable life. That's what and he wants his son to be with him. That's what the reality is. This ain't about player development. This ain't about all of that stuff. This ain't about him deserving to get there. It's about LeBron James having his son. Cool. Let's move on. That's the reality of it. You can call it unfortunate, but that's the truth. We're just talking the truth. Right? Now, all you haters, Bronny, LeBron, James, people, all these bots, all these adults, all these people, everybody who's hitting me and spamming me about it, it doesn't affect me, bro. So just stop. I'm just stating the facts. right?
Yeah.
All these people, all the hating texts, the hating not text, excuse me, DMs, comments. Bruh, stop. Anyway, E, let's move on.
Yeah,
Let's talk about your boy Deion really quickly, E.
Yes.
Deion Sanders, Colorado's rocking and rolling. I got to give credit where credit's due, right? Colorado's rocking and rolling. And E, they have a chance to be in the Big 12 championship game, which it looks like it could potentially be Colorado, BYU in the championship game if everything kind of falls out, right? The way it's falling out.
Yes.
And then that means they get a chance, Eric, if they win the Big 12, to be in the bowl championship series with the 12 teams that play for a national championship.
Yes.
Which is crazy, right? The team was 1-12 before he got there. He won 4 games his first season there, and now he may have them in the player for a national championship potentially, which is crazy, by the way. Kudos to him. And you know, I feel like the schedule fell for him. They haven't beat any top 25 teams yet, but it is what it is, right? It worked for him. Deion is a religious guy. God blessed him. The way the schedule fell his way, clearly.
I just want you to keep that same energy when you had in the beginning of the season. Just keep that same energy, Frank. Just keep that same energy.
Well, listen, I gotta call it. But now, this begs the question, right? You got the best player in the game is Travis Hunter. He should be the Heisman Trophy winner. Gabriel is good for Oregon as well, right? And then you know the kid from Boise State, John T, is good. But to me, and the kid from Miami is good, Ward, but they lost, so Ward's stock has dropped a bit. So I think it's going to be between Gabriel and Shador is not even in it, right? It's between and by the way, he's had a great year and should be the first player drafted probably in the draft if you need a quarterback. Let me just say that. Yes. But it'll go down between Gabriel, probably in my opinion, and Travis Hunter, and I think Travis Hunter will win the Heisman. Okay. Now, E.
Okay.
Question. Okay. Season over. Successful season in Colorado. Okay. I said this, as we know, Eric, months ago. Fair enough. Yeah. That Deion should now go to the Cowboys. Said that, right?
Yes.
Draft. I said trade Dak if you need to get the first pick, right?
Yes.
Draft Shador and bring Deion a coach, right? In Jerry's world with the Cowboys. I said that. Now everybody's saying that. Every punter's saying that. You know what I'm saying? They probably watch the show. They steal my stuff. They steal my information.
Yeah,
and they use it. Right, E?
Yeah.
It's still an E. But question I ask you, Deion Sanders is an alumni of Florida State. And they've had the worst. I mean, they were supposed to be a top 10 team, Eric, and they're like 1-9 right now.
Yes.
Right? They were 13-0 last year. They're losing all their recruits. They're hemorrhaging recruits. Okay. If you're Deion Sanders, do you go back to Florida State, your alma mater, where it all began, right? Or do you go to the Cowboys and coach? With Shador, without Shador? Maybe you can't get him. Maybe you can. Right? What do you do, E? Or do you stay at Colorado? Best
scenario is to stay in Colorado and continue to build that program. I would stay at Colorado, continue to build that program.
Over Florida State? Oh, if you stay in college, over Florida State, E?
Yeah, over Florida State. Florida State, first of all, I don't think they're going to fire Norvell. If they do fire him, it's his buyout. His buyout is $63 million. His buyout is $63 million. Where
how much?
60.
Did Texas A&M just pay that? Texas A&M just paid crazy money to get rid of Jimbo Fisher. And Florida State got big money, Eric. You know that organizationally. And by the way, it's a joke, Eric, that they were crying that they were so much better than everybody in the ACC, and they was such a big draw, and they should have been paid more money, and they wanted to take the ACC to court, and then they 1-9 right now, Eric.
Yeah.
What a joke. What a joke, Eric. Yeah, but they got money, E.
But I never believed in Norvell. I think last year was an aberration. You know, that was 1 year. They had the kid Travis Jordan, good young quarterback that played throughout in the program, developed. They had a good team, but I mean, they got clobbered in the bowl game. I think it was like 60 something to like 3. I think it was.
Yeah, but Hunter wasn't there. A lot of players opted not to play, and Hunter was hurt. In all fairness, in all fairness, right after they realized they weren't playing for the national championship, they quit.
Yeah, I mean, in all fairness, but again,
right.
I don't think Norvell was the right fit for Florida State. You know what I mean? And you know, Bobby Bowden did a great job, tremendous job in taking that program to, phenomenal heights. I think they were one of the best.
That's Deion's mentor, but that's Deion's mentor, E.
Yes.
So
yes.
That's Deion's mentor. I mean, carry on the legacy of the great Bobby Bowden, where it all started for Deion, who's probably the most famous Florida State alumni ever? Or is Deion upset because out of Jackson State, they could have given him that job before they gave it to Norvell, correct? And they bypassed him. And maybe they thought he wasn't ready yet for that job. But he's at Jackson State. I think he could have. I think, Eric, the job became available and they went to Norvell, which made sense. Norvell, I think, coached at Memphis before then, had success at Memphis. So it wasn't a bad hire, Eric. But I think Deion Sanders should go to the Cowboys, right? I said this before. I think it should be the Cowboys or Florida State. Forget about Colorado. And forget about what you build or you don't build, because kids jump in the transfer portal right away anyway, right? And Deion Sanders could build the champion right away. And to be playing at Florida State in the ACC, Eric, with that level of alumni and that level of money, he can legitimately play for national championships every year at Florida State. You can't do that at Colorado.
Okay, so you saying go to Florida State then instead of
No, I'm saying if he stays in college, it would be Florida State, not Colorado. But I think he should go to the Cowboys. So if he stays in college, it's Florida State. That's where he grew up at. He's from Florida, from the state of Florida.
Yeah.
Went to Florida State, right? His mentor is Bowden,
Yeah.
right? Who's the greatest Florida State coach you can argue ever.
Yeah.
So if you stay in college, you go there. But I think you should go. Listen, I think he lives in Dallas, I believe, Eric. I believe that's where he raised Shador and those guys. Somewhere in Texas, I think in Dallas, right?
Yep.
I think, Eric, I mean, America's team, okay, the wealthiest franchise in the world, right? The Dallas Cowboy franchise is worth $10 billion, worth more than any other franchise. Deion Sanders is as big a brand as you could ever hire as a coach. Deion Sanders brings money, fame, popularity, and I think adults will listen to Deion, right? Deion brings a lot, and he was a high-level player, and if he can somehow get you his son, because Eric, let me just say this. Deion Sanders has never coached without his son.
Yeah.
From high school, he had a son,
Yeah.
right? All the way through Jackson State and now at Colorado, correct?
But at some point, you got to cut the umbilical cord. It's time for Shador to go on his own and see what it's like.
Does he?
To play without his father. I think at some point, Frank, you got to cut the umbilical cord, Frank. I believe.
Why? Tell me why.
Because
it's working.
Yeah, it's working, but
it's working.
But at some point, Shador got to stand on his own 2 feet. I mean, his father.
He is doing that.
Nah, his father.
He's playing well.
He's playing well, but his father's been there his whole entire ride. As a young man, you're behind, the shadows of your father prime time. Like at some point, you got to step out and be your own man and do what you got to do as a young man. Because
what's bigger than Deion Sanders and Jerry Jones and the Cowboys? And you bring a Shador with his flash and his personality. Eric, you talking about get your popcorn ready, must-see TV every week? Are you kidding me, E?
Yeah. I mean,
if you Jerry Jones,
TV.
You got to go make that happen, E.
Yeah,
right?
Must-see TV. I mean,
if you Jerry Jones, you got to go make that happen, right?
But they will have to move up in the draft. They will have to, trade or make a trade, because right now they I don't know where they sit.
Yeah, listen, let me ask you a question. If a team, Eric, needed a quarterback, right? If I traded you Dak Prescott for the number 1 pick, you know what you get from Dak. I think most teams would take Dak for the number 1 pick. And Dak is not working with the Cowboys, so give Dak away. If you got the number 1 pick in the draft, if you the Florida Panthers, not Florida Panthers, hockey, excuse me. If you the Carolina Panthers, Eric, right? And you need a quarterback, obviously. And Bryce, again, I never thought he would make it in the NFL, right? This little quarterback. But anyway, if you got the number 1 pick and you could get Dak, right, and you trade the pick, are you going to bring in another young quarterback? Probably not, Eric, right? If you can get Dak to come in with that team and you give and the Cowboys take that pick, right? You draft Shador, right, and then you bring in Deion and it's showtime. So anyway, let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
I say in college, Florida State. I say in the NFL, go. Now, E.
Yeah.
I got to switch gears now, E. You ready?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, we both are fight aficionados.
Yes, let's talk about it.
Right? We know a lot about boxing. We watch boxing. We love boxing. Okay? Now we got Jake Paul, Mike Tyson coming. Okay? I got to get your thoughts on this on a couple of levels, E. First of all, do you like this nonsense? Because boxing has become a sideshow. Floyd Mayweather messed up the sport. For good and for bad, right? Guys are making money, but now it's about the sideshow. When Floyd Mayweather did those boxings, what do you call it, 24/7, he throwing the money.
Yep.
And that changed the whole scope of what boxing is, right? So then you got the Jake Pauls of the world, Mike Tyson coming back to fight at 54. I hate it for his legacy. I do.
Yeah.
Seeing an old Mike Tyson fighting Jake Paul in this joke of a match, number one. And then he smacked him yesterday at the press conference,
at the weigh-in,
which was a joke.
He slapped him
At the weigh-in. That was a joke, right? We all knew that was fake. And listen, Jake Paul said, smack me in real life, Mike. I could take a real smack, right, to promote the fight. Jake Paul is promoting this. They're going to make all the money from it, obviously,
Yes.
E. But, E, what are your thoughts about this, man? Number one, your thoughts about it, who's going to win?
Yeah.
Tell me, E.
This is sad, like you said, for Mike Tyson's legacy. Mike Tyson.
The great Mike Tyson now, E.
Yeah. The Iron Mike Tyson. You know, Iron Mike Tyson arguably one of the best boxers of all time. You know, to go out like this and do these little I don't even know what to call them.
Exhibition slash weirdo influencer fights.
Yeah, slash WWE type events. You know what I mean? Like it's becoming a style show for me. You know, I like the purity of boxing when they had the old guys fighting. You know what I'm saying? And that's what boxing was all about. Now you got, like you said, exhibition fights. My thing, I'm worried for Jake Paul. I'm worried for him, Frank, because Mike don't know how to turn it off. Once he's in that ring, who knows what's going to happen? I feel sorry for him. You know what I mean? I know Jake Paul, you know, he's been training and everything like that. But this is an exhibition fight. And once Mike turns that switch on, you know, I hope that he's able to, you know, come out of there, you know, all in one tack and stuff like that, Jake Paul. But I'm going Mike Tyson. I think Mike Tyson's going to knock him out. But like I said, for his legacy, nah, this is not it, Mike. You know, this is not it, Mike. I think you should, you know, just ride off to the sunset after great Iron Mike Tyson and do that. You know what I'm saying?
That spotlight is tough, and that money tough. But listen, Jake Paul's going to get about $50 million, right? At least, probably even more than that. The amount, because he's promoting the fight, right? I mean, Jake Paul's going to make so much money. I mean, I don't think he can beat Mike Tyson. But listen, Mike Tyson's also 54, right? So we're not talking about the same Mike Tyson that we grew up on. So part of us, we know Iron Mike Tyson, the intimidation guy. But at 54, he doesn't punch as hard as he punched at 24, Eric.
Yeah, but I was watching Roy Jones. So, Roy Jones says when the referee was telling him, let him go, let Mike Tyson go. Roy Jones was like, I'm not letting this guy go. I'm trying to hold on for real life.
But Roy Jones is also 55 years old, right? Whatever, he's old too, right?
Yeah, but
I mean, Jake Paul's a young guy.
He was saying like when Mike gets in that ring, you know.
Yeah, but Jake Paul's 32 years old, right? He's a young man, right? Full, you know, strong. He's up to like 220 maybe. So he got good heavyweight. He's probably heavier than Mike Tyson right now, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. So look, Tyson doesn't punch his heart. And this is the other question, right? I think it's 2-minute rounds, and I think it's 8-round fight. So it's in a bridge fight. Like exhibition, it's a joke, right? Like I said earlier, E. But who knows if Jake Paul can get to the 4th and the 5th round, right? Stamina-wise, do you think Mike Tyson can fight into the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th round?
If it goes past 5, 6 rounds, I think Mike will start wearing down. I think Jake can, you know, maybe get off a little bit. But
there you go, E.
But I don't.
There you go, E.
But I don't see it going past 5. I think Mike, you know, has, you know, still substantial power in both hands. I think he can land the right hand or left hook, and it'll be lights out for Jake Paul.
And the WWE smack was a joke, right? Like, come on, Mike and Jake Paul. We know that was scripted. Yeah. You smacked the man, like, and I think you did smack him. But if you Jake Paul, right, this is part of the show.
Yeah, this is
right. This is part of WWE guys get smacked all the time in the ring. Like you take that, because you trying to sell pay-per-view views.
Yeah.
Now everybody's saying, "Oh, Mike is going crazy." By the way, did you see Mike Tyson give an interview to the little girl?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh my goodness, it was crazy. The little girl asking him about legacy. I think he forgot he was talking to like a young lady, and it was crazy. You got to catch an interview when you can. But anyway, listen, I got Tyson winning the fight unless it goes deep. Paul has a chance then.
These exhibition fights, sorry to cut you off, Frank. These exhibition fights, like I said earlier, it's becoming like WWE wrestling type events. I mean, it's all about entertainment. They're taking out the purity of boxing. I mean,
yeah, it's terrible.
Kudos to them for making all that money. You know, $50 million.
Listen, one thing I will say though, E, is this. One thing Jake Paul brought to the sport, though, I will say, is with all these promoters stopping guys from fighting guys, one thing Jake Paul has brought to the sport is, you know, people are making their own fights. So maybe more guys will realize you don't need these promoters who you know, the Bob Arams of the world and all these different guys. Maybe if you got the popularity and the fame, like Ryan Garcia, right, and these kind of fighters in Tank, maybe you can make your own fights, right, and keep all the money, right? So anyway, we'll see what happens, Eric. I don't like it for boxing. I don't like it for Mike Tyson, right? We grew up on Mike Tyson, watching Mike Tyson's greatness.
Yeah.
I don't like it. But we got to talk about this. Let me ask you a question. What's the biggest rivalry in football today?
Biggest rivalry in football today.
If you have to think about it, you're not a football guy. I mean, I'm sorry.
Obviously, it's Michigan, Ohio State is the biggest rivalry.
No. In the NFL, yes, that's college. In the NFL.
Sorry. Oh, NFL. Biggest rivalry, I will say Ravens, Steelers.
Don't say you would say. Stop. You're right.
Yeah,
you're a football guy. You scared me for a minute. You scared me for a minute.
Hold on. There's some big rivalries out there.
No, not like the Ravens and the Steelers. Not like that one.
Not like the Ravens and the Steelers. That's a rivalry.
So that's the biggest. It might be other ones, right? But that's the biggest.
I mean, that's the
Mike Tomlin, Harbaugh. Like, no. This is the rivalry, and we got it this weekend.
Yes,
we got Ravens. And by the way, both teams are playing high.
Yeah.
I think one is 7-2, one is 7-2. Steelers 7-2. I think Ravens 7-3.
Yes.
Right, Steelers flying high with Russell Wilson taking over at the helm as the quarterback. Mike Tomlin, great decision. As you know, Eric, I was for that decision. You weren't. But let's not get into that.
I'm glad you're glowing in that.
Eric, my favorite player in the NFL is who?
Lamar Jackson.
There you go. Right, the Michael Jordan of the NFL, the great Lamar Jackson. Right?
Okay.
Now, I love Lamar Jackson. So you got Lamar Jackson and the Ravens with Derrick Henry now in the backfield against Mike Tomlin, right? And that Steelers' vaunted defense, TJ Watt, Hayward, AE. This is like Super Bowl almost caliber football, the level of competition. The Wilson storyline, I love Mike Tomlin. Harbaugh, who you got winning the game? What are your thoughts? You're not excited enough, You're not excited enough for the football. I know you got your church outfit on, but you're not excited enough right now for Ravens Steelers, Tell me,
this is one of them games where players got to, tighten up their chin strap because it's going to be a hard-hitting game. It's one of those games, it's the AFC Central Division fighting for first place. It's one of those games where as a wide receiver, as a running back, you got to tighten up the chin strap. Listen, I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I just believe.
Wow.
I believe that.
Wow.
The Steelers, their defense is playing spectacular. Russell Wilson is, commanding the offense. And they got a running game that is comparable to the Ravens. And
Whoa! Stop! Don't say Najee Harris is comparable to Derrick Henry. No, it's not. Don't do that. Now you can say the other stuff, which I may disagree or agree with, but that's a bold face. It's not true.
Hold on. Said it's comparable. It's not as.
It's not. No, it's not comparable. Comparable means close. It's not close.
It's close enough, Frank.
It's not comparable. Don't do that. Now we could go back now, but don't say that.
Oh, Frank, listen. Okay, you have your way of.
Najee Harris versus come on, Derrick Henry.
Listen,
Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley are the two best running backs in the NFL.
Okay, I can argue.
Don't do that.
I can argue.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Come on, bro. Don't do that.
I would go Saquon over Derrick Henry.
Whatever one you want to go. I love Saquon. Shout out to Dumb Giants. Great job, the Giants GM. I think his last name is Sean and the ownership, right? Not paying Saquon and paying Daniel Jones. We know what that was all about, but I don't want to get into that. Yeah. Go ahead, E.
So I'm going with the Steelers. I'm going with the Steelers. Tough AFC Central game. I'm going with the Steelers. I'm going to score. I'm going to go 27-23. That's going to be the final score. 27-23. Steelers.
I'm going Ravens all day, bro. Let me tell you this, right? This is when the Russell Wilson train just stops for a minute, right? The momentum stops. They can get it back again. But, man, it came out the gate like gangbusters. They've been winning. He's been playing pretty well, but it stops now. It stops now because you're running up against the Michael Jordan of the NFL. The great Lamar Jackson, who's going to be a 3-time MVP. The great Lamar Jackson. That Ravens offense is amazing, okay? You got Derrick Henry, you got Lamar, you got Likely, you got Zay Flowers, you got Bateman.
They're playing that Pittsburgh. Ooh.
So what?
It's that Pittsburgh.
You took Pittsburgh already, so that's fine with you.
No,
I don't care.
It's not Pittsburgh, Frank. You got to think about it. It's that Pittsburgh. Man.
Don't matter.
Okay.
The great Lamar Jackson will be on the field, the MVP caliber player, doing the things that Houdini does. Okay? This when Lamar Jackson will step up his game like great MVPs do. This would be a statement game for the season, solidifying at this point, up until this point, why he should be the MVP. By the way, your boy Josh Allen should be in the conversation too. But Lamar is the MVP thus far, and Lamar is going to show you this weekend why he is the best player in the NFL MVP-wise this season. Just so you know, right? By the way, that Ravens offense is elite. And by the way, the defense has to play better, but the Steelers are not really great offensively. So if you got 27-23 Pittsburgh,
Yes.
right?
Who you got? Frank?
I got 27-20.
Okay.
Ravens. But who I got? Ravens.
Okay,
27-20 Ravens. So yeah, I'm gonna have my popcorn ready. I'm going to my movie room and I'm gonna watch that game, man. That's gonna be a great game. I'm excited about that.
Listen, like I said,
I'm excited
this
about
is the game where you gotta tighten up that chin strap. Lamar, when you're running,
physical
game. When you're running, make sure you slide and make sure you ain't taking them big hits because these games can determine the outcome. For the rest of the year, you get hurt in these type of games. So this.
And by the way, shout out Mike Tomlin, bro. Shout out Mike Tomlin. The man don't get enough respect as one of the greatest to do this, bro. Mike Tomlin. Shout out the longevity, never having a losing season in his career, Eric. Shout out Mike Tomlin. That's a leader of men. E. With no quarterback at times, with a third-string quarterback, he finds a way to win.
Yeah, you don't like
Shout out Mike Tomlin, and he got some rings too.
You don't like
you
don't like him as a coach, though. I heard you.
I love him as a coach. Don't do that.
I love him. Wait, hold on. I heard you say numerous of times, Frank, but he's like, he's not an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator. He's a guy that he's a CEO. He just manages.
Yes, and just to be clear, but you can be great and be that, right? Bobby Bottom was that, right? You talked about Florida State earlier. Let's go back to that, right? A guy like Andy Reid, right, is an offensive genius.
Okay.
Which is different.
Okay.
But Mike Tomlin is a CEO. He's a leader of men. That's why I was clear to make that statement earlier.
Okay.
Leader of men, right? I don't know that he has the mastery on either side of the football schematically like a guy like Belichick did as maybe one of the greatest defensive minds of all time, right? Or Andy Reid, who may be one of the best offensive minds of all time. But as a leader of men and as a coach and as a CEO of an organization, Mike Tomlin is at the very top of that.
Okay.
I'm fair enough?
Yeah, fair enough. I'm glad you.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough. Now, E, let's wrap up talking about some hoops.
Yes.
Let's talk about some hoops, E. Yeah. So, E, I want to just talk about this, Eric, right? College and the NBA,
yes.
Okay? And this is important to note because these TNT games, these ESPN basketball games are down. Opening day for the NBA is down. All of this is down. The NBA is down, right? And everybody's trying to figure out what's the answer, what's the reason why less people are watching the NBA. And I tell you, Eric, there may be major reasons behind it, but people are just tired, Eric, of the superstars not playing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
You got this whole Joel Embiid fiasco where he's telling everybody he's never playing back-to-back games ever again. And, a lot of people spend their hard-earned money, Eric. Yeah. So first of all, this is on multiple levels. First of all, the Philadelphia 76ers should be investigated even deeper, right? Number one. Secondly, Eric, and Joel Embiid, by the way, after he played his first game, said that he wanted to play the second game, but the 76ers wouldn't allow him.
Yeah.
So the NBA should find them again. The NBA should find the 76ers again. Okay, Eric? So, and then, E, the layperson can't relate to you saying you're not going to play back-to-back games. When you sign up for this, Eric, and you get all this money, this is part of the job, right? The guy that's working every day and paying money to bring his children and his family to the games, Eric, and then you don't show up to play. What are we doing, Eric?
Yeah.
And we got all these superstars, Paul George and Embiid out. All these superstars with low managed, Eric, Kawhi Leonard out. All of these guys. Yeah. So now all of a sudden, Eric, when these games come on, okay, and the stars are not playing, John Morant is hurt now again. He was hurt before. Yeah. And by the way, John Morant, love him, Eric, but last year he got hurt and missed a lot of the year. I think he had a rotator cuff surgery, and now he's hurt again this year. And you know why he's hurt, Eric? Because he's about 170 pounds, and he's jumping up in the air trying to dunk on everybody every time with his little body, and he's going to be hurt, right, a lot because of the way he plays. He better slow down and learn how to play a game that's a little bit more on the ground and more relaxed, right? If you look at guys that don't get hurt, like Michael Jordan, right, played shot jumpers, even later in his career, posted up. He still was Air Jordan, but he slowed down. He was physically strong, right? LeBron James is a guy that can dunk, but he plays on the ground a lot. He posts. He makes the game easier. Ja Morant can't keep jumping over everybody, Eric, and trying to dunk.
You can't compare Ja Morant to LeBron James. LeBron James 6'8", 260, man. The guy's a little guy.
Yeah, but Ja Morant could be 6'2", 190, 200. Put some muscle on, Eric.
But that's what makes Ja Morant. His style of basketball. You know what I mean? His style of playing. I agree with you.
He's not going to last, Eric. He hurt every year now.
I agree with you, Frank. He should, change his game around where he's playing.
He's not going to last.
Where he's playing more under control, where he's playing more on the ground. I agree with you 100% on that. But this is what Ja Morant, and this is who Ja Morant is, and this is who we fell in love with, and this is who the fans fell in love with. You know what I mean? The trash.
Michael Jordan's game changed as he got older.
No, of course it did.
But anyway, but the point I'm making is, I think people are tired of tuning in the games or coming to games. Not just people paying their hard-earned money, Eric.
Yeah.
You save your money up, some of these families, right, to come to 1 or 2 games during the year. When you come to the game, the star doesn't play because they load managing, or it's a back-to-back and they don't want to play.
Yeah.
That's crazy, Eric.
Yeah, basketball has taken a turn.
A huge step backwards from that perspective.
Yeah,
the old guys played, Eric. We never heard of that kind of garbage.
Kudos to LeBron. LeBron is playing,
Yes.
Kudos to LeBron.
Yes, Eric. Shout out LeBron. Please, say that again. I'm with you on that. I get on LeBron about things, but one thing he don't do is cheat the game, Yes.
Yeah.
LeBron James does not cheat the game, Eric.
So
I'm with you on that.
These guys, like again, LeBron James, you get the thumbs up for me for going out there day in, day out, night in, night out, going out there and playing back to back.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, E.
Good for him.
Yes, E.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for the NBA from that perspective. But these young guys and these guys are coming into the league and getting paid all this money and not playing back to back nights. And I mean, it's an injustice to the fans who are going out there saving their money to go see these superstars play. And now these superstars are not on. They're not playing. I just told you off camera. I said, "Oh, I'm gonna watch that game, Golden State versus Memphis," because I'm thinking Ja Morant is playing, and now he's playing, and now he's not playing. I'm like, "Oh man, what the hell?" You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it takes the fun out of basketball, and I think the league should do something about it.
It's crazy, but it's tough, right? Because I don't know what you can do if a guy doesn't play. You can say my ankle's hurting today. The league can't. It's hard to legislate that, right? The guy's hurt. Is he hurt? If his ankle's hurt, you can't bring a pain test to the arena to see what it is.
Yeah.
Like, you can call it what you want to call it, but guys, but organizations are stupid. Stop calling it load management. Right? Say the guy sprained his ankle injury or something like that.
Yeah.
The load management thing is just offensive. It's offensive. By the way, speaking of that, Eric, let me just shout out 2 teams in the NBA right now. 2 teams on both sides of both conferences. Shout out, Eric, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Okay, nobody expected them to be as great as they are, and they're undefeated right now. And they're playing probably as good basketball as anybody in the NBA. They look like a legitimate threat to the Boston Celtics. No one else in the East right now. Okay, and shout out to Golden State Warriors, Eric. So right now, OKC looks like the best team in the West, right? But no one expected the Golden State Warriors to be this good, Eric. Right? They got rid of Clay, okay, and Steph Curry's playing like a. Did you see what he did to Dallas when he scored the last 12 points of the game?
Yeah, 12.
And said, this is my, you know what?
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Curry.
Yeah.
Yo, Clay did something to him because he took that personal. It was very clear, Curry, it was something personal going on there, E.
Well, I mean, I just think it's just competitive in Steph Curry. I don't think there's – I mean, I think there's a lot of –
No, Draymond said the next day, E. No, Draymond said the next day that Clay ghosted Steph. Draymond said that.
I mean,
so
we all know Clay gets emotional, and being in the team for so many years, and he loves the Bay Area. He can drive his boat to the practice facility and to the games. That's Klay Thompson, and he was a little
very emotional, sensitive guy.
Yeah, he's a little
very sensitive
guy. He was hurt by the whole thing, and so he wanted to retire. He wanted to retire as a Golden State Warrior. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for him. I don't think there's nothing there. I think it was just perfectly played for the fans to see the game. And seeing Steph Curry take over the game, the last 12 points of the game, which was phenomenal. So I don't think there's nothing there. Me personally, I don't think there's
Eric, let me say this. Well, it depends on what you're saying. There definitely is something there. Okay. Now, will that affect the long-term relationships? No. Will he'll have his statue at some point with him and Draymond and Steph All of that Clay will get, okay? But right now, there's absolute bad blood. And Clay made it very difficult for guys to play with him those last 2 years. And he was crying about the fact that he thought that he deserved money. And I never understand this about players, Eric. Why do you tell me I deserve to pay you money? They gave him two years of free money when he was rehabbing from 2 injuries, number one.
Yes.
But number two, Eric, let me ask you a question. Why do players feel like Clay, for instance, for what I did for the team, right, you should give me a new $100 million contract, right? I mean, those services were already rendered. I paid you, you paid your contract, right? I don't owe you $100 million sentimentally when you can no longer perform at the level that you think you can perform at. How can you be offended about that? The man literally expects a sentimental $100 million check.
Yeah.
And then he got mad because Draymond and them guys got it, but they were still effective players. How do players think an organization is supposed to pay them for what they did years and years before, Eric?
Yeah, I mean, this is the ugly side of the business where players feel like I've given you my all 11 plus years.
Cool.
11 plus years.
And by the way, I maxed you out when you gave me your all. I maxed you out when you gave me your all, Eric.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
So, I mean.
Right? You got the money.
Listen.
Right? And you'll get your statues and you'll get all your acclaim and you'll be one of the greatest warriors ever. You'll get your jersey retired in the rafters. Right? But I don't got to give you $100 million when you can't play no more.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I mean, if you're not productive on the basketball court, I'm not obligated to give you that money. Now, can we come to an agreement where you can, finish out your career here? We can come to a number. We can finish out your career. I think the ownership owes that to Clay. We don't have to pay $100 million, but we can come close to it where you can finish out your career here and go off on a sunset as well.
Well, you contradicting yourself. You're saying play close to $100 million. I should pay you $80 million, so you should finish here. That's close to it. What are you talking about?
Man,
you can't say on one. You can't say
parties agree.
You can't say
come to number
Eric, you can't say
agree, Frank. I'm pretty sure
you can't say in one breath. You can't say in one breath what you said in the beginning of this segment that teams don't owe players based upon what they did in the past and services rendered. Right? Frank. You said that. Now you can't say, right, give him a sweet deal, maybe not 100, but give him 80 million. No. If you said, Eric, hold on, Eric. If you said this, right, at the very end of his career, do you give him a 1 year minimum deal so he can finish? That's different. But don't come close to $100 million, bro. You must have bumped your head.
No, you got to come to a number where both parties can agree. I don't know the number. I'm just saying come to a number where both parties can agree. I'm pretty sure if they would have came to a number, I don't know the number, but I'm saying they would have came to a number where Clay would have felt comfortable, the organization would have felt comfortable, Clay would have stayed.
He wouldn't have stayed, Eric, because he felt like he was devalued. He was no longer starting, right? He thought he should get at least Draymond Green money.
But that falls on the player. That falls on the player.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That doesn't fall on the organization. That falls on the player.
I agree. So therefore, your comment about come to an agreement with it wasn't just about money. It was about money, playing time, and feeling underappreciated because they paid Draymond and they paid Steph, and he felt like he should have gotten paid more than what he was worth.
Listen, Clay, listen. Clay Thompson.
Come on, E.
Clay Thompson, listen. You sat out for 2 years and we gave you free money.
They gave him free money for 2 years, Eric.
Clay Thompson, you should have been happy with what the number was, and you should have
sensitive.
He's very sensitive.
Yeah, we should start calling him every time you see him shoot, we should call him Ralph Tresvant. You need a man with sensitivity. A man like Clay.
Definitely feel like that. But no, listen, man. Hey. We love Clay Thompson. Listen, you can't mention Steph without mentioning Clay Thompson. They will go down.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. Hold on. They will go down.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Dual shooting tandem in the NBA. Plank.
Well, you can mention Clay, but you can clearly mention Steph without Clay. Because if Steph Curry stay on this pace, he's about to be one of the top 10 players of all time.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they will always be intertwined. They will be the Splash Brothers and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, well, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen are intertwined, but you can mention Mike without Scottie.
Listen, I'm just saying those
Magic Johnson and Kareem were intertwined, but you can say Magic and Kareem without the other.
Those guys will be always forever intertwined. The Splash Brothers for what they did for the NBA, and
he went and made the Dallas Mavericks even worse, right? How you thought he was gonna go in there was gonna be good? So here we go again. An example of you feel like you're getting a good player in and you get rid of a player that doesn't fit, right? A la Damian Lillard and Drew Holiday, right? Damian Lillard doesn't fit. Drew Holiday is a better fit for the Milwaukee Bucks. They've been terrible ever since. The same thing now with Clay. Okay, Derek. What's the defender guy's name? They went to the. He's now with Derek. I can't think of his name, Eric.
For what team?
The defensive kid.
For what team?
Huh?
What team?
He plays now for he played for the last year. He was started last year for Dallas, and now he plays for the Clippers.
For the Clippers.
The lefty that plays defense. Very athletic, wiry, slim. Anyway, his name will come to me, right? But anyway, this guy, right? He played last year for Dallas. He started. You started him in the backcourt with Kyrie. Obviously, you had Luka, and he was the guy that played defense. Okay. Now you bring Clay in. Okay. Now Clay, Eric, you and I both know can't play defense like he used to. Injuries, Achilles, ACL, etc. Okay. So now listen to your perimeter players. You got Kyrie, Clay, and Luka. That's probably as bad a defensive trio that you can have, Eric, in your backcourt.
I mean, yeah, those guys they're not very good on the defensive side, Frank, of the ball. Those guys are not good.
What's the guy's name I'm talking about, Eric?
He plays for the Clippers now?
Yeah. Number 55. I hate when I forget a name. You know that.
Number 55. Okay.
Derek. I can't think of his last name.
Derek Jones?
Derek Jones. There you go.
Derek Jones.
Derek Jones Jr. Lefty, 6'5", wiry, athletic, defender, right? You get rid of him, okay? And by the way, he's doing a good job now with the Clippers, and now Dallas is suffering. So anyway, struggle. It is what it is. Let's see how it shakes out. I think the Dallas Mavericks are worse off with Clay, but we'll see how it ends.
Yeah. We'll see.
Fair enough.
I mean, listen, to all these guys out there, man, I believe, again, NBA got to find some way of, finding that excitement where fans could, enjoying the games and the ratings could go back up. So if you're listening, hey, NBA president and vice president, let's try to get these guys to play back-to-back games so the fans can enjoy the game again.
Not just back-to-back games, load management in general.
Yes.
Right? Adam Silver, you got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Right? But they got their big TV deal now, E, so the money's on the wood already, so it don't matter at this point. Yeah, so it is what it is, E.
Yep.
So, and then, E, last thing, let's talk about college basketball. I want to talk a little bit about that,
yes.
E. Okay? And it's the same kind of concept almost with college basketball. The ratings are down. And it's hard for me, E, when college basketball season used to start, Eric, the old Big East, right? You got John Thompson, Jimmy Boeheim, Rick Pitino, Louis Conaseca. The names, it used to be amazing, okay? And now you watch college basketball, and guess what, Eric? It ain't the same.
No.
Because unlike in football, Eric, a kid comes into college, he has to stay for 3 years.
Yes.
Right? You can watch a player develop. In basketball, Eric, two things are happening, okay? Kid has a good year, he's out.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But the transfer portal has destroyed it. And there's a transfer portal in football too, Eric.
Yes.
Right? But Eric, it's like every year teams are completely revamping.
Oh, yeah.
A team can look one way this year, and so how can you follow college basketball, Eric?
Yeah. I think back in the day, we followed.
The portal's terrible.
Yeah, the portal's terrible. That's another thing that they should change. Back in the days, we followed, yes, they were superstars, but they were also legendary coaches that were coaching, right? You had Rolly Massimino, you had Jim Boeheim, you had John Thompson, you had all these great coaches who had personality. So you follow those teams, the great Syracuse teams, the great Conaseca,
Georgetown team, the great Georgetown team.
You had superstars, but you also had these legendary coaches. And I think with the transfer portal, it's messing up, the game, because it's not like who are we gonna follow? You can't follow the coach, right? And then the players is all over the place. For example, Kentucky got a brand new team.
Look at Duke
from the transfer portal.
Look at Duke.
Well, I won't say 12. Maybe 10 of the players came from the transfer portal. It's
crazy. And then Eric, half of them kids are gonna be gone in a year, and it's gonna be another new group of kids.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. It's so right now our basketball community, right? NBA needs to be fixed, Eric, and also college, right? Because our basketball community is really suffering for the I don't know, for lack of good rules. And also, guys, again, go back to, I get on LeBron a lot, Eric. You know that, right?
Yes.
About the Bronny situation. There's a lot of things about LeBron I get on. But one thing about LeBron is the man don't cheat the game in terms of him playing. And the man shows up 82 games,
Yeah.
and he cares about his image and what he represents. That, right, he's rock solid from that perspective. Okay.
Yeah.
LeBron says, I'm trying to play 82 games every year, and he does that. Shout out to LeBron again from that perspective. I got a lot of respect for that.
Yeah. And also, too, Frank, college basketball, these young guys, these young players are not that good, Frank. These young players are not that good, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Eva. I mean, we'll have that conversation. We talk about the AAU game compared to how they do it in other countries and all that kind of stuff. But look, we're gonna wrap up now, E. Okay.
Yes.
It's the part of the show, E, where we let you shout out your brothers and sisters, man, that are out there doing great things in the Dominican community and the Latin community, man. Who you got for us today?
Yeah. So I'm gonna go. So I'm feeling kind of like Big Poppy-ish. I'm feeling kind of Big Poppy-ish. You know, Big Poppy has tremendous swag with him. You know, his swag is all over the place. He has a great personality. So I'm feeling kind of Big Poppy-ish. I'm gonna go with Big Poppy, David Ortiz. He's done tremendous. You know, with
Mr. Steal Your Girl, huh?
we ain't gonna get into that.
Mr. Steal Your Girl almost got him in trouble. Mr. Steal Your Girl, but okay. Great baseball player, though.
We're not gonna get into
Mr. Steal Your Girl, he almost got himself in a little bit of trouble down in the DR, huh, E?
Yeah. He almost got in trouble. I mean, he almost
got himself into a little bit of trouble down in the DR, E.
Listen, he almost lost his life. We don't want to promote any of that on the show where, you know, he was gunned down, and you know, thank God.
But he great baseball player.
Yeah,
great baseball player.
And
by the way, great personality, Eric.
Yeah.
Great energy. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
great personality. Great player.
So I'm going Big Poppy. I'm feeling Big Poppy-ish today.
Cool.
You know, I got my little jacket on. I'm feeling Big Poppy. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Big Poppy.
Yeah, I got a question.
Yes.
I got a question, E. Can I ask you a question about the Boston Red Sox?
Yes.
Who's a better player? Okay. I got it because you let's go Dominican now.
Yes.
Straight Dominican.
Yes.
Who's a better player? Big Poppy, David Ortiz, or Manny?
Oh, there's no question.
Or Manny Ramirez.
Big Poppy will tell you, Manny Ramirez.
Manny Ramirez. Oh, you going Manny over Big Poppy?
Big Poppy will tell you Manny Ramirez is the best right-handed hitter of all time. Dominican. All time. Over Pujols, over Vladimir Guerrero, over all those great right-handed hitters. He's the best right-handed hitter.
Over Pujols? Over Pujols, Eric? Come on.
Listen, there was a pull out. It was kind of close.
No.
A lot of guys said Manny Ramirez.
Eric, the greatest Dominican. Eric, can I ask you a question?
Vladimir Guerrero said he'll take 24. He'll take Manny Ramirez. I'm going Manny Ramirez on this one, Frank. You know.
So you go Manny Ramirez. Listen, I go Ramirez over Big Poppy, but I'm not going Ramirez over Pujols.
Ooh, man.
Yeah, I'm not going Ramirez over Pujols. And by the way, let me just say this: they're two players, and then Ramirez was better, but Sammy Sosa had a run that was unbelievable.
No, I'm not going Sammy Sosa. I'm not going Sammy Sosa, Frank. I love
the white Sammy Sosa or the black Sammy Sosa. Which one you like better?
Sammy Sosa.
Sammy Sosa.
I mean, listen. What he does personally with his life, he want to do all that stuff with his skin. Listen, see what I'm taking.
Great player though, by the way.
Turmeric, and my skin looks impeccable, boy. Listen.
Yeah. But listen.
Sosa.
But Manny, so I'm going Pujols over Manny, but I'm going Pujols number one.
Oh, okay. I mean, listen, that's debatable.
Manny's amazing. Big Poppy's amazing. Sosa's amazing. Vlad Guerrero's amazing, who has a great son, right? Who's tearing it up right now in Toronto. But I got to go Pujols when I'm naming that list of great Dominican baseball players. And by the way, Eric, but you might have the guy that's going to be the greatest Dominican baseball player ever playing right now, and his name is Soto, Juan Soto. He might surpass all of them and be the greatest Dominican base. And by the way, E, your Dominican brothers, I will give you so much props.
They gotta pay that man. Hold on. They gotta pay that man. Hold on, Frank. Hold on. Since we talking about Soto,
Yes.
We talking about Soto. Hold on, Frank. Hold on a second.
Soto, I think he's gonna be the best Dominican baseball player ever.
Frank. They got to pay that man, Frank. They got to pay that man, Frank. They got to pay that man. Pay that man.
That's right. Pay him. That's right. Show me the money. Show me the money. Oh, E.
Show me the money.
You got the money out there. E, what's going up in the Heights? E, what you got going up there watching Heights? E?
Show me the money, man. They got to pay that man. Pay that man.
Hey, you need to tell the agent to step aside. right? And Soto needs you to be the agent, Eric.
Hey,
The way you dress right now,
listen.
you look like you ready to forget about the agent he got. Look like you ready to represent him right
Hey,
now.
listen, man. Soto, come holler at me, man. I'll get you that 600 million, 650. I'll get you that.
Hey, Dominican brothers, boy, but historically amazing baseball players again, and they continue to be great baseball players. And I think Soto's the greatest ever. But I'm going Pujols one.
Oh, okay, all right. Listen. That's argument that's going on all over the Dominican Republic. You know, hey, some guys got Pujols, some guys got 24 man.
Right.
So hey, great show, Frank. And anybody out there, please continue to like, subscribe, and comment on the show, man. We taking it to the top, baby. Let's go.
All right, we out.
We out.
Love.